All right, what's up, guys? So, one, I want to apologize for not uploading in a very long time. Yeah, just super scatterbrained, just a lot going on, and I'm just bad at uploading to YouTube. Honestly, I'm working on it. I am, because I want to grow the channel. But anyway, so the focus is yeah, I'm gonna work on being better at that. So anyway, I want to give you guys a review on the Vosteed Nightshade. This is the Vosteed Nightshade TH. These retail for about 80 bucks. So originally I had some kind of negative feelings on this knife. First and foremost, I had never owned a Vosteed, right? I have nothing against Vosteed. I think that they're a great company. They're a great brand. They make fantastic knives, all that. But I've never, I never stock them because I sell all the knives I sell, all of my inventory I move through, whatnot, right? We're working to expand and build a website and go from there so we can move inventory through the website. But right now it's through Whatnot. Obviously Whatnot takes a percentage, so there really aren't good margins for Vosteed on Whatnot. But I get asked a lot, so I figured, you know what? Okay, I'll grab a couple for inventory just to see what happens. So I grabbed two of these. I decided I would keep one for myself. Test it out, see how it goes, because I like giving reviews on knives I'm gonna sell, but I like giving reviews on stuff that I use day to day, I fidget with, I play with, that kind of stuff that gets pocket time. So anyway, my first impressions were, I like the design of the knife. So we're gonna move this out of the way. I like the design of the knife, I really do. Let me make sure this is in the light. I think that they did a great job. This is a micarta with a Nitro V blade steel. I apologize for the lighting. I could try and make it brighter, but it might end up washing out the camera. But so yeah, it's a Nitro V blade steel with micarta scales. It's got a deep carry. The deep carry is not reversible, and it is a liner lock, as you can see. It's got an incredibly smooth action, but my biggest problem with this knife was the fact that it's only got one deployment method. For a lot of people, they like to have either a flipper tab, a front roll, thumb studs, whatever. And granted, when I first showed this knife on my live show, I was kind of bummed out, honestly, because it was the first time I opened the knife, and I was like, all right guys, we'll experience this together, because I've never opened, never looked at the Vosteed before. Again, I apologize for the lighting, but anyway, so open the knife, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I like the design. It's got that like kukri sort of style to it as a folder. It's nice. It's light. It feels ergonomic in your hand. Even I have a big hand and it's very comfortable. It's got a nice action. But the deployment method is a big thing, especially for people who use these knives every day. Not just knife nerds in general, right? Not just collectors, but people who are going to use these knives every single day, whether it's at their construction job, being an electrician, out and doing field work, being a plumber, like anything. They want something that's going to be relatively easy to deploy and then put away, deploy and put away. Now granted, it's easy to put the blade away, but you only get this one deployment method. So that was kind of my my negative perspective on it. And I always, if I'm going to do a knife review, I want to give people the positive and the negatives, regardless of if I'm a dealer with the brand or not. And I'm a dealer with Vosteed. Now, granted, I like Vosteed, don't get me wrong. So after using this knife for a few days and playing with it, I'm a huge, I really love fidgeting with knives. That's kind of like my thing. This knife is kind of my go-to. Granted, it's only one deployment method, but it just feels really satisfying to deploy it, like Spidey flicking it. Now, granted, you can also deploy it with your thumb. For me, it's not that comfortable, but you know, to each their own. But that was kind of my negative. That was the big negative drawback for this knife when I was showing it to people, you know, clients who were looking for knives to buy on my live show. Is, well, there's only one deployment method. You know, that's a big drawback. But looking at it now, I mean, yeah, it's still a drawback. Supposedly, people get these and then like do some kind of like modification by putting like a thumb stud here, like some kind of aftermarket thumb stud or whatever. I didn't look into it, but overall, it's a cool knife. I wouldn't recommend it for someone who is looking for a knife to use every single day. Unless you're a really hardcore knife fanatic, you know, folding knife fanatic, and you don't mind the singular deployment method. Somebody who's looking for something that they can like pull out at work, open boxes, cut zip ties, cut rope, cut wire when they're trying to solder or do electrical work or whatever it may be. I don't think this is the knife for you. I think this knife is more for somebody who maybe I would say is probably more of a knife geek, and you know, granted, when I say that, I'm like, well, you know, there are people who, I'm thinking to myself, well, there are a lot of people who, you know, work in those fields who are knife geeks as well. But something that's easy access as far as blade and reliable, and if you're in a pinch and you're in a hurry and you're trying to be efficient with your work and whatever, you know, not everybody has the dexterity to, you know, open a knife like this. You know, some people have really big fingers, some people's fingers don't work that well, some people, you know, have sensitive fingers. You know, some people have like really big hands, and it's just like there's just so many different variables that play into it. And I just don't think that this knife is viable for somebody who needs something, you know, on the go, if I guess would be the best representation. I wish I could find a better phrase for that. If I could, it's kind of like recommending, like, if you have easy, medium, and hard, you know, knives, which is a stupid analogy, but bear with me, right? If you have that, I would say this is like medium to hard. Like, it's obnoxious to use because there's only one deployment method, but you have to be okay with that and know that, you know, sometimes you're just not going to deploy the knife very well, or sometimes it's just not going to be reliable. Whereas, like, I have other knives here on the side, like I have this Comaran, where it's like anytime I need it, I just pop it out, right? Like, it's reliable. Like, oh, I gotta cut something, flipper tab, it's out, we're ready to go. And then blade away, flipper tab, out, ready to go. Like, there's no fuss, there's no fickle, I don't have to worry about how I'm orienting my hand, it's just boom, done, you know? And it's the same with this, like, you know, Best Tech Dundee, same thing. Like, oh, flipper tab, done. Cut whatever, put it away. No fuss. Whereas with this, it's like, you know, for some people, it's there's going to be a little more that goes into opening the knife. Maybe not for me or for other people, but you know, for someone who's just looking for something that just gets the job done, I don't think this is the knife for you. So that's. Granted, it took me more than 9.5 minutes to say that, but that's that's kind of like where I'm at. If you're looking for an EDC that's reliable, simple, does what you need it to do, I don't think this is for you. If you're just like a huge knife fanatic, you love knives of all shapes and sizes, and just weird designs. You like fidgeting with knives. You know, you like supporting companies. Like, then hey, I think this is very worthwhile going for. 100%. I genuinely love it. I think it's fun. I don't have a problem with it, but I also know that if I had to wake up and go to like a construction job and use this knife, I probably would rather choose like my Dundee or like something else, something that I know I can like easily open, do what I need, close it. Especially if I have to hand the knife to somebody else, you know, someone who's not like, you know, well versed in like how knives operate. Like I have family members who don't even know how to open flipper tab knives. So you hand a knife to somebody who's like might not know how to open the knife, and I'm sure that there are people who you give this knife to who would be like, I don't know how to open this, and they'd go, you know, and open it like this. You know, and you might be doing something that's time sensitive. So yeah, that's pretty much my review on it. It's not a bad knife by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't think that this is an EDC that somebody who needs to get stuff done in a timely, efficient manner would be looking for. If this is someone who's looking for something like a next knife in their collection, something to fiddle with, something that you're a huge knife nerd, and you don't really care, then hey, this is all for you. But if you're looking for something that's no nonsense or whatever, yeah, I don't think this is the knife for you, unless you don't care about the deployment method. But that's my take on it. And I feel like, you know, that's such a weird, you know, deployment method can be such a big deal, but it really is, especially with, you know, something as efficiency. At the end of the day, it's all about efficiency. You know, how well does something do efficiency? You know, and if it doesn't do it efficiently, and if someone can't do it efficiently with that tool, then it's not a very good tool, right? So yeah, again, great knife. I enjoy it, I like it, but kind of not practical. If there was like a flipper tab or a front roll, I would say it's a little more practical. But this is definitely more of it, in my opinion, this is more of an enthusiast knife versus like the average Joe just needing a knife that'll take a beating, do a hard day's work, and that's that. So yeah, yeah, that's that. Like I said, knife retails for like, I think it's like 70, 80 bucks. Might be cheaper on Blade HQ. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, I hope this review helped you guys. If you have any comments or constructive feedback, feel free to drop a comment. Yeah, I'm all about helping people find stuff that they need for their day-to-day, and I wouldn't recommend this knife for somebody who, you know, especially someone who works in like in construction or like the oil fields or a fracking field or a lumber yard or whatever. Like I wouldn't recommend this knife. It just doesn't, yeah, it just would be ineffective, inefficient. Yeah, okay, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Drink water, eat some good food, and be kind to each other.